John Murphy at Murtech.com with your daily news update. Okay, happy Easter. I've got my site decorated for Easter. Happy Easter, happy Easter, happy Easter. He has risen to save our souls. Okay, I've got a lot of great information for you today on April the 5th in the year of our Lord 2026. And let's just jump over here to Murtech on Rumble. This is my Rumble channel here. Let's go ahead and get into this, episode 1878. It says upcoming, but as you know, you are actually watching the video, so let's jump into this. And hi, Debbie BS. I'm glad you joined us. Let me close out the live chat. Slide down here and click the Show More button to expand out the description box. Okay, we have information from Andrew Klavan, Benny Johnson, Dr. Steve Turley, and Wendy Bell Radio. But before we get into that, I do need to give some shout outs here to One Bond, just started following my channel. M. Fitzger just started following my channel. Also, multi-dimensional leaning super soldier, multi-dimensional healing super soldier just started following my channel. Also, Granny Gaga just started following my channel. And Dizzy Gothic DNB just started following my channel. Okay, well, thank you very much, folks, for following my channel. I greatly appreciate that. I hope you're tuned in, and I hope you enjoy the content. Okay, Debbie BS reposted my episode 1877. M. Fitzger commented on my episode 1876. Uncloudy, Foxy Grandma, Viper Senior commented on my video 1877, episode 1877. 808 TRTL commented on my Extra 660C. Debbie BS commented on my Extra 660A. And Debbie BS commented on my Extra 660B. Also, Viper Senior, Irish in Proud, at Grandma Turtle, Debbie BS, and Hospitalized. Oh no, Debbie BS commented on my episode or Extra 660C. So let me give that a thumbs up. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you reposting my videos and your comments. I enjoy reading your feedback, and I definitely appreciate your support. So there we go. And if you could give me a thumbs up, right here is the thumbs up icon right below the video you're watching. So if you could slide down and tap that or click it with your mouse, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, Andrew Klavan, America Moons the World. Episode 1273. Let's see what he has to say about that. I'm sure it's going to be something really interesting. Okay, and for some reason, here we go.
Here at the Andrew Klavan Show, we don't usually bother with celebrity news because I like to think my audience is too smart and sophisticated for that. But of course, that's ridiculous. I mean, look at you. So today, we're going to catch up on the shenanigans of the famous, rich, and powerful because it's degrading and wastes precious moments of our lives. And that's what the Andrew Klavan Show is all about. So let's get started. According to the Daily Mail, Byron Nome, the husband of former DHS Secretary Kristi Nome, has been secretly posting pictures of himself online wearing women's hot pink underwear and enormous fake breasts. Kristi Nome said she was absolutely devastated to discover her husband was a Democrat, but she did feel that this might explain how she could sleep with Corey Lewandowski and consider it an upgrade. President Trump said he felt sorry for the Nome family, although he congratulated Byron on having such a nice rack. Champion philanderer Tiger Woods, while apparently under the influence of drugs and alcohol, rolled his car over after clipping a truck. Woods told police his life was full of so much sex and success and money that only abusing substances could keep him from sinking into despair. He was charged with 3 counts of driving while being an ungrateful schmuck. Shapely, semi-attractive Australian actress Millie Alcock has been cast to star in the $300 million DC studio film Supergirl. Alcott told Vanity Fair that the role, quote, definitely made me aware that simply existing as a woman in that space is something that people comment on. We have become very comfortable having this weird ownership of women's bodies, unquote. The comment won Alcock the coveted Rachel Zegler Award, a bronze statuette of a mouth without a brain attached that is given to the shapely, semi attractive actress most likely to tank a studio's investment while under the delusion that people want to hear her opinions. Medical experts say this delusion is often brought on by men telling women they are interested in their opinions, and women thinking that means men are interested in their opinions. Robert De Niro, Bruce Springsteen, and Jane Fonda were among the thousands of doddering old white people who shuffled out to the latest No Kings rallies, which must have been held to celebrate the fact that we had no kings because otherwise they just don't make any sense. De Niro and Springsteen got together to reminisce about how they made millions of dollars by simply saying a meaningless phrase over and over again, like "you talking to me" or "born in the USA." Springsteen said he could not believe that boomers had been gullible enough to pay them for doing something so monotonous, but it gave him hope that boomers might also be stupid enough to take the No Kings rallies seriously. Black gay transgender actor Billy Porter was also at a No Kings rally where he complained that black gay transgender actors are having a hard time finding work because Donald Trump. Personally, I find this story kind of confusing. I mean, if you're transgender and gay, isn't that the same as being straight? Like Billy Porter is a man who thinks he's a woman, but he's gay, so he's a woman attracted to other women, so he's really just a man who's attracted to women. In which case, it seems possible the reason Billy Porter can't find work isn't because Donald Trump, but because Billy Porter is an irritating no talent. Finally, Lindsey Graham and the rest of the Senate got to go on vacation to rest up after grueling weeks of doing absolutely nothing. Graham was later photographed wandering around Disney World's Fantasyland with a Little Mermaid bubble wand. Lest anyone get the impression Graham is a sad old queen who wanders around Fantasyland with a bubble wand, the senator immediately issued a macho photograph of himself firing a shotgun. The Little Mermaid's slug-riddled body was subsequently found in a pool of her own bubbles. Fantasyland police are still searching for Graham and, in fact, for the rest of the Senate, hoping to bring them back to Washington, D.C., where they can pass intelligent, useful legislation. Because this is Fantasyland. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show. Because I just don't like red meat talk. I don't like to talk red meat politics, and that's usually what people want to hear. So I went and gave this very esoteric speech about the deformity of the American imagination. And I think that's kind of, it's not the same. I don't want to say the same things I said there, but I do want to talk about the deformity of the American imagination. The imagination is, by my definition, the sixth sense by which we can see an image of the invisible world. I mean, the world of values, where things are not just things, but they are representative of values. They might be good, or they might be evil. They might be masculine. They might be feminine. They might be healthy or sick. And the way you test your imagination is accurate is by reading books so that you have a store of wisdom that you can compare to your imaginative view of the world, and by observing creation, by looking at the world around you. And if you have, and what happens when you put your ideas, or when your ideas are put into practice. If you got an idea out of the Bible, so that's part of your imagination, or you got an idea out of Karl Marx and you put that idea into action, and you've suddenly realized that you've murdered 1 million people and brought an economy down, or a nation has fallen apart, maybe you're reading the Bible incorrectly, and maybe Karl Marx is a jackass. I mean, you have to test your imagination against the world. So you have to put work into keeping a healthy imagination, and so that you're seeing the world rightly, the invisible world, the world of values, and you're not just seeing what you want to see, or what somebody told you should see, or what you were raised to see. So today, this week, and for a long time, several weeks at least, the imaginative image of America that people seem to have, or at least our elites and the media seem to have, and the reality of America seem to me so incredibly different that I really just think our imagination as a nation is diseased and needs healing. To put it succinctly in the famous words of the hilarious wanker Louis C.K., Everything's amazing and nobody is happy. And that is what I want to talk about today. Let us talk about balance of nature, because for some of you, maybe the less brown, because we've includes, they've even capsules of Chapter 1, The Moon and the War. Before I get started on this, I just this minute learned that Pam Bondi has been fired, which I actually think is a positive development, and I hope they elevate somebody who is a little bit more on point. I'm glad to see that Trump is still paying attention here at home. But otherwise, this week included this. This is cut 1.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of Integrity on the Artemis 2 mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high.
AMT high.
On time passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the alternate beacon. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the main engines. Space Launch System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour.
1,200 miles. All right, I'm not going to wax sentimental about the space program. I'm just going to sit here and weep quietly for about 2 minutes. That was Artemis 2, obviously taking off. 4 incredibly brave astronauts sitting on a controlled explosion, thrown out into an airless vacuum where they are just kept alive by the wit and imagination of human beings, building a place where they can live in that place. They're going to orbit the moon. They're going to go further into space than humans have ever gone before, because they're going behind the moon, and who knows what's there, probably the man in the moon. They are going to, and the plan is this is the start of a new space program that in 2 years, in 2028, this is more than 50 years since Candace Owens pretended we didn't land on the moon. This is more than 50 years since we've been back there. And we're going to build whatever we build, an American station there, hopefully before the Chinese build their station, which they are racing to do. And then we'll all be there and we can have the first nuclear war on the moon. It'll be great. So this is just an amazing thing. The fact that we went 50 years without extending our reach into space, because from the moon, I assume we're going to plan to go into Mars. I assume we're going to colonize. If we can learn how to terraform Mars, I suppose we'll colonize Mars. I think this is the beginning of what the guy said. I mean, that may have been a little melodramatic, but I think it's what he says. It's mankind's next mission is to colonize the planet so that we don't have all our eggs in the Earth's basket. So human consciousness, which is the most advanced thing that we know of in life, doesn't disappear. When the government does stuff, it does it badly. And NASA, because we were desperate to beat the Soviets to the moon, sucked all of the space technology out of the atmosphere, right? Everybody went to NASA. That was where the space program was going. And for a while, it was great. And we were proud of that. But as politicians it's not NASA's fault, but as politicians began to make decisions, they made decisions like, wow, maybe if I use this useless welfare program, people will vote for me. I mean, that's basically it. And as you remember, Obama wanted NASA to make Muslims feel good. That was their thing. They built a space station, which I'm sorry, I'm sure there was some purpose to it, but basically I thought it was a useless thing that was just demonstrating some globalist photo ops. It was setting up some globalist photo ops. But now, because there's competition with China and because the government has access to private innovation, like from guys like Elon Musk and SpaceX, we are on the move again to ultimately colonize Mars, I hope, and save the human race, which I just think is great. And so everybody, you looked out the window, everybody was dancing in the streets. People were shaking hands with perfect strangers, kissing girls that they'd never met before. No, nobody cares. Nobody is even paying attention to it. It got a couple of cutesy headlines when it actually happened. But it is an amazing, amazing thing. And this is part of what is going on, is amazing things are happening, but they're not happening right away. And gas is more expensive than it was 4 weeks ago. And that's what everybody is talking about. So Trump gave a speech trying to tell people that it was a good thing. What was happening in Iran was a good thing. And he told us how things are shaping up in the war. This is cut two. This is part of that.
We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb.
Then he went on to say, I thought rather daringly, that the people who need oil from the Strait of Hormuz should go in and take it, should go take, the Strait of Hormuz and make sure that their oil is flowing, because we don't need it. We have so much because Trump's drill baby drill policies that will sell them oil, or if they need oil through the Strait of Hormuz, they can get it there themselves. And he said basically that he feels that this is coming to an end and it will end soon. This is how he put that, just cut three.
Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime change has occurred because of all of their original leaders' death. They're all dead. The new group is less radical and much more reasonable. Yet if during this period of time no deal is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously.
Now, obviously, the reason I'm putting this up there is because the reports in every news venue have been relentlessly negative, relentlessly negative. 4 weeks, the gas prices have gone up. I don't belittle that. I know if you're a working guy and you got to get to someplace and you have to pay gas, I do not belittle the fact that it's gone up almost, at least in my neighborhood, at least $1, maybe more a gallon. That is no small amount. It is very difficult. Trump promises those prices are going to drop when the war is over in a couple of weeks. But still, I understand that it is a problem. I understand that it's scary. I understand that terrible things can happen. Anybody who's sitting there telling you with a smile on your face, the war is all going to go great and everything's going to be fine, that is ridiculous. But I want to read you something from my current favorite columnist, Barton Swaim, in the Wall Street Journal. I noticed him years ago, just how good he is, and he's moved up very quickly to have his own column there. And he's talking about the toxic defeatism in the press, which he says partly comes from Trump hatred, but he also says this. And this is important because of the Groypers who think we're being manipulated by Israel, which is nonsense, and the left who thinks we should be supporting Hamas, which is also nonsense. He says the smallness and lockstep defeatism of so much commentary on the war also stems from the normal human tendency to interpret today's big things as another version of yesterday's big things. A lazy, cyclical view of events sets in. The Iran war is like the Iraq war, which was a version of the Vietnam War. All sooner or later end in chaos and failure. But in fact, he goes on to say things are very different. The overthrow of Saddam Hussein, an attempt to replace his regime with a democratic government, failed to remake the Middle East in the way its planners hoped, but the removal of Iraq as a global mischief maker set in motion a longer and wider remaking in which the Arab Gulf states moved closer to the U.S. and Israel to thwart the remaining menace, Iran. Since then, circumstances across the region incline slowly in a promising direction. Saudi Arabia, under Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, has undertaken the risky work of westernizing the kingdom and abandoning the cynical policy of funding radical madrasas abroad to buy off the Islamists. The regime of another implacable enemy of the West in Syria unexpectedly collapsed, an event made possible by Israel's degradation of its guarantor, Iran. No one knows which course Syria will choose, but for the first time in a half century, its government appears to want amicable relations with the U.S. and Israel. Lebanon, also for the first time in decades, makes progress and ridding itself of Hezbollah, which we know is also Iran. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun breaking the taboo against so much as acknowledging Israel's legitimacy, gestures toward a settlement with the Jewish state for the purpose of disarming Hezbollah. Again, Iran, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain grow daily more committed to the work of defanging or toppling Iran, on and on. It's notable, he says, that the foreign policy mandarins in the U.S. and Europe either opposed or scorned each of the big events that made possible this moment of hope. It is a moment of hope. That is exactly right. This is a
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause that there and move on, but I will include this video in my daily news wrap-up so you can see the rest of this. Good stuff. It really, really is. Okay, let me click on this Rumble link and show you that this video does come from Andrew Klavan. All right. This is the video I shared with you. I'm sharing his channel, giving him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. Okay, let's jump back here and see what Benny Johnson has to say about Chinese terrorists caught trying to bomb U.S. military base. The full story is terrifying. Okay, well, let's take a look at that and see what he has to say. Uh-oh. One of his memes. Oops.
I am a Republican. Let's say, however, that one time I voted in a Democrat Party primary, and because I did that one time in this one instance, that somehow allowed me magical powers to choose every single presidential candidate forever, for all time for Democrats. You would say, that's kind of silly. Why would I let the other side pick our candidate? Why would I let the other side, our enemies, control our future? That's retarded. And to that, I would say, yeah, it is. It's really stupid. You should have more loyalty than that. You should have proven loyalties. And therefore, that's why I'm not picking Kamala Harris and AOC to run every single time for the rest of time for the Democrat Party. Maybe I'd pick Hillary Clinton. Like, who would I pick? Yeah, I'd pick the worst possible conceivable candidate, right? I'd probably pick Ilhan Omar. Yeah, it's truly, if you're looking for someone who's like the most loathsome, intolerably loathsome person to run ever for any office, you'd pick like Ilhan. You'd have Ilhan Omar run for the Democrat Party nominee the whole time. That's who I'd pick for the rest of my life. Probably. This is so hateable. You'd probably win in 40 and 50 state landslides if you were to do that. But they don't let me do that because they're not stupid, but we are as a country. We let something called birthright citizenship happen, which is that if you're born in an American territory, you suddenly become an American. It's, of course, stupid. This is something that has been totally misinterpreted in order to manipulate the citizenry of the United States and the demographics of the United States to destroy us and to kill us. Suicidal. The Constitution is not a suicide pact. The original amendment that allowed for birthright citizenship was simply for the children of slaves. That was the way that it was intended. It was not intended to have the 9 billion people on Earth travel to a U.S. territory one time and all of them become Americans. Again, that's cultural suicide, and it's literally killing us. Like here, this new story. Chinese Americans accused of terrorism while were anchor babies for illegal parents. Wow, would you look at that? Chinese terrorists. That's a slightly new one, but here we go. Would-be asylum seekers had 2 children in the U.S. after getting a removal order, and now those 2 children are trying to kill us. A man and a woman who entered the United States illegally 3 decades ago. How long has this been going on? How stupid are we? How stupid is our nation? 3 decades ago, how long has this con been going on? China has been playing this con for a long time against us. Our idiot policies. Arrested by the Department of Homeland Security after their children brought an explosive device to a military base, the Daily Wire can report. Qin Zhao and Jia Zhang illegally entered the United States in the 90s. They were detained and they were denied asylum, but they remained in the country for several decades because we're stupid and we don't even enforce these kind of things. The Daily Wire learned that they had 2 children that illegally resided in our country. Last week, the Department of Justice charged 27-year-old Anne Zhang, these are their children, with attempting to explode an IED at MacDill Air Force Base Visitor Center in Tampa, not too far from where we are recording this right now. She was arrested, as she returned to the United States from China, where authorities believe her brother still remains. DHS arrested the duo's parents on March 18th for illegal entry. They remain in ICE custody. They'd applied for asylum in 1993. Their application was denied. They're clearly terrorists sent here by the Communist Party of China. There you go. Goodness gracious. Jeez. Oh, where are you looking? Can't tell. Terrifying. The arrests come as the Supreme Court mulls Donald Trump's executive order banning birthright citizenship, automatically granting citizenship to children of illegals. This just proves how crazy it is. So her parents come here illegally. Here's her parents. They come here illegally. They're denied asylum, which is actually kind of hard to do. You have to have such a weak case. You're denied asylum. Then you have kids. Those kids are paperwork Americans. They're not real Americans. They're just paperwork Americans. And then now they try and bomb us. The 2 U.S.-born children of these criminal Chinese communists were indicted for planting a deadly explosive device at MacDill Air Force Base. This incident underscores the severe national security threat that illegal immigrant and birthright citizenship poses to the United States. Wow. What a story. Should be the biggest story in the country.
The FBI indicting a brother and sister in connection with the placement of an explosive device at MacDill Air Force Base in Florida. The FBI says Alan Zhang, who is believed to have planted the device, is currently in China.
Oh.
The device did not detonate, but minutes after the device was planted, a 911 call reported that a bomb had been placed on the base. When that phone call came in, no location for that bomb was in fact given in that 911 call.
The device was found on the base 6 days later. Thankfully, no one was hurt. FBI Tampa also arresting the suspect's sister, Anne Mary Zhang, who is charged with accessory after.
Goodness gracious. Huge. DHS nabbed the duo's parents for illegal entry. They've been here since 1993. 2 Chinese anchor babies just tried to bomb the United States. John Roberts would have you believe these terrorists are just as American as you and me. That's right. And Ketanji Brown Jackson would tell you that she's actually, that by murdering us, by trying to murder us, that makes them Americans. Just like it makes her Japanese when she pickpockets in Japan. She steals things in Japan. Incredible how the instinct is there for Ketanji Brown Jackson. The parents were ordered deported. They overstayed 28 years. And now their kids are paperwork Americans and terrorists. It's dangerous and stupid to grant automatic full citizenship to the children of illegals born. This is so timely, by the way. Birthright citizenship is a threat to our national security. Completely true. Yep. Amazing. So stupid. Insanity, says DHS. This attack attempted illustrates why improper recognition of birthright citizenship for children of illegal aliens is not only inconsistent with the Constitution, it endangers all Americans. Chinese anchor babies who wage war on behalf of China are just as American as George Washington. The Constitution says so. It's so stupid. 10% of U.S. births are all foreign anchor babies. Hours later than you think. That's right. Goodness. 2 birthright citizenship born to illegal immigrants in China bomb a U.S. Air Force base on American soil. By the way, it's where they run CENTCOM out of. And that's critical. That this is the command center for the war currently right now in Iran. Whoever they were subject to the jurisdiction thereof, it wasn't the United States of America. That's right. The U.S. has a uniquely insane immigration policies for quite some time. Sure, it's just a coincidence that so many of these attacks are from foreigners or foreign-aligned people who hate America. Goodness. Used ChatGPT to help him flee. Look at that. Exciting. Jonathan Turley torching birthright citizenship here. This is like a relatively mild legal scholar. It is becoming the world's laughing stock and ship of fools, China mocking us with hundreds of companies that exist solely to arrange for Chinese citizenship
to give birth in the United States. It's done in the open, and it's making us into a laughing stock. But it also has robbed us of control over what it means to be a citizen in this country. Yes. The day is not over for the government. It's still possible that they could win, but this was not a promising oral argument in that sense. So we have to look at where we go from here.
America is a serious country. Serious countries don't reward illegal immigration. Automatic birthright citizenship for children of illegal migrants reward illegal immigration. Donald Trump was at the hearing, birthright citizenship here. And it's pretty obvious this is happening. Constantly, CBS News reported that Chinese parents traveling to the U.S. have anchor babies. They travel from China to Los Angeles so their baby could be born in America and have U.S. citizenship. And then they paid $27,000 to a Chinese agency with a website that advertises the advantage of giving birth in America. The agency helps arrange U.S. tourist visas, lodging, and medical care. They allow their parents. How much is having a baby is incredibly and prohibitively expensive in America. How much of this are we funding? So like if 10% of the babies are born here, like are these people don't even like pay? They just like going through on Medicaid or through emergency care and giving birth. Oh, it's insane. It's insane. The Hilltop home was converted into a maternity hotel that houses as many as 30 pregnant Chinese women at a time. We're not a real country, dude. We're not a serious country. She admits to running a birth tourism scheme in California, helping more than 500 pregnant foreigners give birth. There's 500 people to cancel out your votes to get permanent welfare for life, to be able to come here anytime they want. U.S. territory turned it into a maternity ward that produced thousands of American babies. Yeah. Oh, man, it's so rotten. Gotta save our country from this evil. Birthright citizenship is evil, suicidal, civilizationally and culturally. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. And birthright citizenship.
All right, there you have it. I do not know what the Supreme Court was thinking when they said, yeah, that's okay. Let me click on this Rumble link and show you that this video does come from Benny Johnson. I'm sharing his channel. I've given him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. All right, I want to jump over here and share my creator program statistics with you for April of 2026. Here again, this is the 5th day of April, and all categories have been met. I was concerned a little bit about the chats. My requirement is 20 chats, and I've got 22 so far this month. This is the 5th day of the month. As far as hours streamed, 30 is my requirement. I've got 56. Okay. Rumble Premium hours, I need 5. I've got 6.5. Total hours watched this month, 963.8 hours. So far, you people have watched my videos, so thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate that. Total unique raids this month, 5 is my requirement. I've got 15. So Rumble will be pushing my information out, my videos out, so more people can hear the truth. And that's what it's all about, folks. That's what I'm doing this for, is to share the truth. Okay, let's jump back here and see what else we have on the agenda. Looks like Dr. Steve Turley breaking. Another Democrat switched to GOP. Well, that sounds like good news, so let's take a listen to that.
Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your back porch professor. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful weekend, but I can tell you most certainly who's not, and that's the dying, decaying, degrading Democrat Party. We've got another defection to report, the second one in a single week. Hawaii State Representative Elle Cochran just announced that she was resigning from the Democrat Party, and she's formally joining the Republicans. Now, you'd be very interested in the district that she represents. She represents House District 14. House District 14 covers West Maui and the Lahaina area. Now, remember, those are the locations of those horrible fires back in 2023? Well, Elle Cochran was elected as a Democrat back in 2022, the year before the fires. And she's been very blunt and how horrified she and her constituents have been over the Democrat majority's handling of the fires. Not only were the fires themselves suspect in terms of the political incompetence behind the conditions that led to the fires, but she said that since then, the Democrat-dominated legislature in Hawaii has done literally nothing for the victims of those fires. She said that her pleas on behalf of her constituents have either been ignored or they've been sabotaged. Now, I know that many of you have wondered if there have ever been any political consequences for Hawaii Democrats, given how they botched this disaster that killed over 100 people, left $5.5 billion in damage. And the answer is yes, there have been consequences, maybe not as dramatic as what we would have hoped. But as we speak, there are now more Republicans in Hawaii's legislature today than there have been in the last 2 decades. Republicans have made very notable gains, particularly in 2024 in Hawaii. That was the first major election since the fires. And Cochran's defection is only serving to grow that already expanding number. So obviously, while not red, Hawaii is getting redder. And it's been doing so at a rapid rate, far faster than the last 2 decades. But this is actually the second defection in a week. Earlier this week, South Carolina State Representative Lucas Atkinson officially switched from Democrat to Republican. We actually reported on that. He's filing to run for a 6th term in the state house under now the GOP. He's a 5th-term lawmaker from Mullins, Atkinson. He represents House District 57. He's been a Democrat state representative since 2016. He won his last election with 60% of the vote, so he's no political pushover. But now he's officially joining our team. He's officially running as a Republican. And this is just frankly par for the course at this point. One study found that for every one Republican who switches parties to become a Democrat, 4 Democrats switched to the Republicans. The switching disparity on behalf of Republicans is 4-1. I mean, it's pretty astonishing stuff. And again, we're seeing it in real time. Back in September, South Dakota State Representative Perry Poirier, officially defected to the Republicans. And her switch, get this, left the South Dakota House with just 5 Democrats as compared to 65 Republicans. So in a 70-seat state House, the Democrats are down to 5 seats. That's South Dakota. The Democrat Party in South Dakota is literally functionally extinct. And then there's the absolute tidal wave of defections happening in the border counties in southern Texas. So Webb County Judge Tano Tirina, a top elected official in the county, he recently went on Fox and Friends and announced he was done with the Democrat Party. The woke Democrat Party is now officially Republican, and he specifically called out the Democrats on border security, on the oil and gas industry, and, of course, their abhorrent obsession with wokeness. And just to underscore what's happening there, this is a county that voted for Hillary with nearly 70% of the vote back in 2016. That radically Democrat vote swung by over 50 points to Trump in 2024. Let that hit you. That's why there's this 4-1 party switch discrepancy among the Republicans. The political realignment along particularly the southern border in Texas is absolutely historic. There are 18 border counties in Texas. Historically, every single one have been solid blue. They've been voting Democrat literally for about a century. In November 2024, 14 of those 18 border counties in Texas went red. They voted Trump. Again, these were counties that were once considered unshakable Democrat strongholds for generations. And we could keep going and going. North Carolina, there are a bunch of defections in Jersey, in Kentucky. Scores of Democrat politicians are defecting and becoming Republicans. And the key appears to be how the Democrats are constantly on the wrong side of 80-20 issues. So there are a number of political issues, we talk about them all the time, that garner supermajority support, right? Border security, mass deportations, banning trans athletes from women's sports, voter ID, and an issue after issue after issue. The Democrat Party is on the 20 side of 80-20 issues. They're staking their position with the single most radical left-wing lunatics in the nation who couldn't garner more than 20% support. And after a while, that consistent unpopularity begins to take its toll on party membership. This is why the Democrat Party has lost millions in voter registration since 2020, all the while the Republicans have gained millions. It's because the Republicans are consistently on the supermajority side of 80-20 issues, while the Democrats are on the super minority side. And that radical unpopularity is beginning to take its toll on the party. So as far as I'm concerned, the demise of the Democrats could not possibly come soon enough. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section down below. And as always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button for breaking.
Okay, there you have it, folks. Again, this video comes from Dr. Steve Turley. It's a video I shared with you. I am subscribed to his channel on YouTube, and I've given him a thumbs up. Again, I hope you do the same thing for me. And yes, that's good news. And we can only hope with more attention given to the voting polls and with some executive orders, if they can be carried out, we will maintain control of the House and the Senate in this election coming up here in 2026. We can only hope and pray. Incidentally, praying wouldn't hurt. Okay, let's jump back here and see what Wendy Bell has to say with Weekends with Wendy. Now, she's going to start talking right off the bat here, a little bit out there, almost over the edge. There's UFOs and things of that nature, but it's an interesting show. You know, I love Wendy Bell and I love what she says, and that's why I'm sharing this with you. Here we go. Get it up here. Come on, you can do it.
Why do you do that?
Wendy Bell Radio is live.
I'm waiting for you to do that, and you wait for me to smile, and it's really annoying.
Well, fire me then.
I know. You're fired. Let me get out my Harry Potter wand. You're fired.
You all have a nice day.
By the way, is that honestly how I look?
Oh
my, I'm loud.
In my head.
Oh, duh. I'm going to haunt you.
Yeah, right.
What's going on, everybody? How are you? How are you? Yesterday, lots of interesting things coming out, Brock. So much to talk about. It's so odd.
I'm sort of surprised, but not surprised how much the alien talk has become. I don't consider CNN
mainstream
anymore, but how much people are talking about it. And you have some of your biggest, and Joe Rogan's one of them, talking about it. And Benny Johnson, like, there's a lot of people talking about this. And
we'll see. Okay, so I want to ask you, because you have a friend who dances and dives into the rabbit hole, and exists in the rabbit hole, and is good. He's great.
He exists in reality too. Like,
of course. However, much like my friend Attila. So Attila calls me yesterday for my birthday, and I'm like, hey, I haven't talked to him in a while. I'm like, oh, it's so great to talk to you. We got interrupted, unfortunately, about 15 minutes into our conversation about my dad when he called. But I was asking him, like, so what's going on with all this UFO stuff? And he's like,
this is old news to him. Yeah.
I was still like, and he was like, yeah, it's really not that big of a deal. I'm like, what?
Here's the thing, and I'm not calling you out, Grafin lady. I'm still kind of shocked by hearing you guys talking about UFOs. How can you not? Like we're not just talking about, oh, there's life when we're talking about people that apparently have knowledge of this
100%.
that are talking about things that are supposed to blow our mind. Like, I've already been shocked of how bad our government lies to us because of COVID. I don't ever want to be shocked like that again.
Well, and I think it's not even so much that you're thinking about alien creatures and alien spacecraft and this and that. Like, that's not even it, but it's the manner in which it's coming out is intriguing. So that's something to pay attention to. The people who are bringing it up is intriguing. That's intriguing. And it's funny because the experts who are disappearing now, it's eight dead or missing. Think about the worst kind of people to sit down and interview is a scientist or an engineer, somebody who's super mathematically inclined. They're like, but they're not really good at this. And it's like, you're already talking jibberjaw to people who don't know what's going on with aliens. You've obviously known about it since the 1940s, 50s, 60s. Well, maybe even before that.
I heard 20s.
And like somehow you've kept this a secret-ish and have gone through great lengths to quiet any kind of conversation about it. It's like, why? And then I'm inclined to believe more not about like outer space, but the sea. You've got, how much of the Earth's surface is covered by water, and what if, in fact, unbeknownst to us, has always been a population, a civilization, some galaxy underwater, and maybe they're
Wasn't
fighting.
Atlantis?
Maybe they're fighting, and some are trying to get us in on the fight, or maybe we have been fighting it. And maybe they're doing this alien and human being breeding thing because there's going to be a language barrier. And so we need to have translators. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But it's a lot more interesting than talking about a government shutdown.
Touche. We know the swamp creature of John Thune and Chuck Schumer.
What's Scott Presler saying he's going to do now?
He said if they don't pass the Save America Act, he's going to actively go to Texas to primary Cornyn. He said if Thune doesn't give us what he wants,
help Paxton.
To help Paxton, we won't give you what you want.
Think about what he has become, Brock. Just Scott Presler since COVID. I mean, I met him when his shtick was beautifying cities, picking up garbage, which is my thing anyway. So I went and I picked up garbage with him, and I met him, and he came on the show, and we exchanged phone numbers and text each other and all of this stuff, and he became a one-man voter registration wrecking ball. And he flipped Pennsylvania, and I'm pretty sure gave Trump the win there. So for him to acknowledge his political capital and to be able to be like, look, I'll go do it in Texas. Who funds him? How does he make money?
I'm sure he has a nonprofit that people can donate to. Like, people donate to him,
I don't know. Yeah.
So so someone put aliens are demons. I'm just going to tell you what my guy says. That's not necessarily true. Like, there are good and bad in everything, and he says that that humanity as people, us, are good, and there are aliens that are on our side.
Mm-hmm.
And they're fighting the dark aliens, the demons, so that they want to preserve humanity. This just rabbit holes he's gone down and he tells me about. And, you know,
So
I
what
used
is
to think he was kind of like, and 3 years ago when he was telling me this, and now I'm like,
what else did he say to you? So what does he see as this whole UFO now that it's in the news? Is it a distraction? Is it a necessary step in the evolution and the awakening of people? I don't know.
he talks about it on a time continuance,
Mhm.
like, and there's 12 different timelines, and they go back and find where things could change, and they let the timeline that we're in play out. So a Charlie Kirk is dead in our timeline, but they also change the timeline so when everybody wakes up, as he says, Charlie Kirk isn't dead. Like there's a timeline where Charlie Kirk wasn't assassinated. He's like there's a timeline where President Trump was, but they
Assassinated.
yes, assassinated. But they switched the timeline there, and it's to keep the dark thinking they're still in the game by letting certain timelines go and certain. It's fascinating to sit back and just listen to them. And I mean, like, it's totally
Alf was just to soften you up.
I don't agree, Brock. That contradicts Christian faith, but everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Hey, amen. Hey, they used to put elf dolls out through Burger King. If you could go get a giveaway of elf dolls.
Right. Well, whatever you want to say, like, look, I'm just going to tell you, I have no answers. I have a ton of questions, and I'm somewhere on that same continuum. Like, we're light years ahead of some people, and I'm all the way at the end of the line in terms of other people. Like, wherever you are in your knowledge and what you allow yourself to believe, you know?
Here's
And
another.
if religion or the Bible or the Quran or whatever has you believe one thing and that's very rigid, okay. All right. That is what it is.
So, like this, David, it's a distracting environment. We are fighting communism. We need to focus on this. Don't disagree. How do you move that ball forward? How do you move it forward? You can tell people not to vote for Zohar Mandami. You sometimes
You have to have
let
events
things
play out. Mm-hmm.
So I agree. I think everything is a distraction. You know, the old line, keep your head on a swivel. Because you're getting hit from every angle. You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
See,
you're still smoking pot.
You're ahead of your time.
Yeah, you're finding your level of... Yeah, I'm inclined to believe it. Maybe that's what... because I think there's something better out there. And I do think Zohar Mandami, I think he is a psyop. He was put in to show you this is... because some people just can't logically think that not everything's free. Okay, well, we have to show you. We're going to put you this dude in here who's going to say free everything, and then, wow, free childcare? Oh, wait, just for government employees. Like, to me, they're showing... I think they're showing that. But
I want you to play that, what I just sent you. Because if I do, you know I'll screw it up. Have you guys seen this?
Oh, yeah.
It's so perfect, though. It's him. It's his body. It's everything. So it's Joe Biden, the robot. Like,
give me a chance.
Okay. I wasn't rushing you along. Freak. But this is sort of in keeping with what we're talking about. Like, it's so obvious. When you look at Joe Biden, you never would have believed that he was a cyborg or a robot or whatever until you watch him move. And you're like, who is that? What is that?
All right, you ready?
Yes, please. I just want you to watch it, yeah. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes or
See,
no
when,
what? I can't believe it.
like, literally, if they came out tomorrow and be like, and we're like, okay, we're holding a press conference for the American people. Joe Biden died 15 years ago. Everybody who looked at his plastic surgery and were like, why does everybody just buy that this is the new improved Joe Biden? Because it's so not him. His ears aren't the same. There's certain things about his jawline not the same, like certain things that are obvious to you. And if they were like, so he really is a robot, you guys would be like,
It explains a lot.
Yeah, I could see it. Right? But 5 years
The
ago,
autopilot was a robot.
5 years ago, we would have been like, there's no freaking way. What? And the scary thing is if this UFO stuff and all of the extraterrestrial, I mean, it's all going to come out, but they've kept this as quiet as they could for so long.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause that there. But again, I will include this in my daily news wrap up. I told you that, I mean, she's like, and Brock are like, ooh, out there on the fringe. Okay, let me click the Rumble link here and show you that this video does come from Wendy Bell.
How do you move it forward?
All right, I am following her channel. I've given her a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. All right, and before we move on, I do want to share some information here with you from Rumble Wallet. See what they have to say.
They can cancel your accounts.
Good night, bud. Love
Freeze your cards.
Papa
Decide
loves you
what
so,
you're
so
allowed
much.
to buy, say,
night.
or support.
See
Big
you in the
banks
morning.
and financial institutions have total control, and they use it. That's why financial independence matters more now than ever.
Introducing Rumble Wallet, a wallet built for real freedom. With Rumble Wallet, you control your money, not a bank, not a government, not a tech company. Designed for patriots who stand tall, this cap captures the enduring spirit of liberty. The Liberty Bell stands proud. This isn't a credit line they can shut off, it's your wallet, permanently. Yours to protect your future.
Yours to protect your family. When the system fails, when institutions turn on their own people, financial sovereignty is the difference between security and vulnerability. Buy digital assets like Tether Gold, and Bitcoin in one secure place. No permission, no middlemen, no cancel button. And when you want to support the creators you actually believe in, you can use the Rumble Wallet app to directly tip content creators securely, instantly, and without interference.
This isn't a credit line they can shut off. It's your wallet, permanently. Yours to protect your future. Yours to protect your family. When the system fails, when institutions turn on their own people, financial sovereignty is the difference between security and vulnerability. Rumble Wallet isn't about politics. It's about freedom, ownership, and protecting what's yours. So take control today. Download Rumble Wallet now and step away from the big banks for good. True ownership, true protection, true financial freedom.
Alrighty. I've copied the chat into a comment here, and my son Simeon just came in and gave him a hug goodnight while the Rumble commercial was on, I guess you could call it. Alright, so I did copy the live chats into comments, so it will be a permanent part of this video. There you go. There you go. And let me remind you folks that these videos that I've shared with you here are videos that come directly from the producer. Okay? I've got the links to their videos here in the description box, as well as links to their channels, so you can go check out other information that they have. And these videos that I've shared with you are videos that I've posted here on Mertech.com. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Hang on just one second here. Alrighty. Yep, these videos here on Mertech.com. I have over 40. Right here's the one from Wendy Bell that I shared with you. Now up here's the one from Andrew Klavan that I shared with you. I have over 40 no-nonsense, common sense, logic, and truth videos here. And the link to Mertech.com is in the description box. It's a free site. I don't ask for your name. I don't ask for your email address. I don't drop cookies on your computer, or don't have ads popping up in your face. It's strictly no-nonsense, common sense, logic, and truth. I'd like to share all this information with you, but unfortunately I don't have the time. So that's why I've put together my Mertech Daily News Wrap-Up, where I have, it says 23 videos in here, and about 10 hours of great information that you're not going to get on the mainstream media. We'll start off here with Wendy Bell, go on with Andrew Klavan. It's going to be great information. But go ahead and take a break right now. Grab a donut and a cup of coffee, or a sandwich and a soft drink, or a beer, or a nice glass of wine and some cheese, and meet me back here in about 15 or 20 minutes so I can get this set up in Rumble Studio, and we'll get this going for you. But with that being said, I do want to thank you for spending your time here with me. Hopefully, I'll get to see you again later, and may God bless.